We have been looking in the wrong place for centuries. Humankind has plunged into the deepest recesses of the ocean to find the lost continent of Atlantis. We have spent billions of dollars. We looked at Santorini, we looked at Antarctica, we even looked at the Bimini Islands. But what if the answer isn't underwater? What if the greatest civilization of the ancient world is now hiding in the driest, most unforgiving desert on Earth, in plain sight, but unnoticed? Plato didn't tell us a fairy tale, he gave us a coordinate, and we never looked at that coordinate until today. The year is 1965, the Gemini 4 mission. While American astronauts were observing the African continent from orbit, they saw a gigantic eye looking back at them in the endless yellowness of the Sahara Desert. This wasn't a crater, it wasn't a volcano, it was a full 50 kilometers in diameter. It was so large that it was impossible to tell what it was from the ground. It could only be seen from space, from the god's perspective. Scientists called it the Richat structure. According to them, it was simply a natural rock formation eroded by the wind. They closed the case. But they forgot something. They didn't take Plato's 2,400-year-old texts and place them on this natural formation. If they had, what they would have seen would have horrified them. Let's put the mythology aside and look at the mathematics. Plato described the central city of Atlantis in very specific detail. He said, "The city consisted of 3 successive rings of water and 2 rings of land." Now open Google Earth and look at the Richat structure. What do you see in the center? Perfectly concentric rings. But that's not the truly creepy part, it's the measurements. Plato wrote that the diameter of the city was 127 stadia. Converted from ancient Greek units of measurement to today, this is approximately 23.5 kilometers. Do you know what we get when we measure the outer circle of the Richat structure from satellite today? 23.5 kilometers. There's not even a millimeter of deviation. What are the chances that nature would randomly match the measurements in a book written 2,400 years ago? The evidence isn't just limited to shape. The geography matches too. Plato clearly states in his texts, "The north of the city was protected by large and imposing mountains. The south was a wide plain opening to the sea. Look north of the Richat structure. There are massive mountain ranges there. Look south, a flat desert floor stretching all the way to the ocean. And my favorite detail? The stones." Plato says, "The Atlanteans constructed their buildings with the red, black, and white stones they quarried from the island." When geologists go to the Richat region today, what do they find in the ground? Red iron oxide rocks, black volcanic rocks, and white limestone. All in the same place, side by side. Will all these coincidences no longer be coincidences? Right now, you're asking yourself on screen, Onyx, it looks similar, but it's a desert. Atlantis was an ocean island. You're right. Today it's a desert. But the world isn't as fixed as you think. Just 5,000 to 10,000 years ago, the Green Sahara period was underway. That region was covered with vast river networks, lakes, and forests. Don't you believe it? Look at the cave walls in the middle of the desert. Our ancestors painted giraffes, crocodiles, and swimming people there. Want more concrete evidence? Do you know what was found under the sands of Egypt, hundreds of kilometers from the sea? Whale skeletons. Atlantis was not in the ocean. The ocean was where Atlantis was. So what happened to that glorious civilization? Plato describes its end thus. In a single terrible day and night, Atlantis sank, leaving its place an impassable heap of mud. Notice, he doesn't say, "It sank and disappeared." He says, "All that remained was a pile of mud." If an island sinks into the ocean, water remains. But if a giant tsunami hits land and then the waters recede, What's left? Mud. Look at the map of Herodotus, the father of history. What does he write about in Western Africa, where Mauritania is today? Atlantis. And what was the name of the legendary first king of Mauritania? Atlas. The names are there, the maps are there, the land is there. We just refuse to look. Maybe that's why we don't want to find Atlantis, because finding it would mean seeing our own end. They were just like us. They had skyscrapers, technology, pride, and in a single day, nature wiped it all out. All that remained was sand and silence. For thousands of years, the eye of the Sahara has been gazing up at the sky, silently giving us the same warning. Those before you were here. Those after you will be here too. Do you think Atlantis has been found? Or is it just a desert mirage? Let's meet in the comments. Stay in the dark, in pursuit of the truth.